Hello all, welcome to our today we will be discussing on the lunar eclipse which is uh, going to happen on the 19th November 2021. The time will be 14 hours 32 minutes. This is the peak time. Actually the grahana starts almost at 11 o'clock in the morning and goes up to around 5 o'clock, something like that, 4:30 5 o'clock. But we are taking the peak time, that is 14 hours 32 minutes. I have taken place as Bangalore because I stay in Bangalore. Otherwise lunar eclipse happens all over the world, so whichever place you take, from that particular point how you see is what happens. So here in this discussion we'll be just having few points discussed on which house the solar eclipse happens, what will be its effects on the world chart, and what will be its effects on the Indian chart. And individually we can do, but individually there are many people who give their predictions. We are more interested in country level mundane predictions. Okay, so world level, when the chart happens or the grahana happens, it's basically lunar eclipse. So lunar eclipse is when a moon gets shadowed, solar eclipse is when sun gets shadowed. Okay, here moon gets shadowed, so moon is with Rahu, so this is a Rahu connected eclipse. Here we see Lagna is Pisces, and Taurus we have Rahu and Moon, so it's in the third house. So the overall eclipse is going to happen in the third house of the universal chart. So third house represents neighbors, third house represents brothers, third house represents communications, third house represents initiatives, valor, etc. So all this area will be affected, and opposite to it we see Sun and Ketu in the ninth house. So briefly speaking, what we expect is there will be suspicion among neighboring countries, because this eclipse is happening in the third house. Third house represents neighbors. So neighboring countries like India, Pakistan, or India, China, or America, and the neighboring countries, or it might be any other African or European or Middle East, so any kind of the country, maybe Iran and Iraq, or it may be any out of the blue Russia with its neighbors, so it might be any country. So generally speaking, so neighbors on the world level, it will be countries, neighboring countries, and individual level it may be neighboring states, or it may be neighboring kingdoms, or even it might be neighbors. So there will be a suspicion among neighbors. Okay, what is he going to do? Is he going to affect me? Is he going to attack me? The main reason being Mars, you can see in the 8th house, Mars with Mercury is going to aspect the third house, the 8th aspect. Mars represents military actions. So that's what I mentioned. Mars aspects Grahan house, so military action might be seen, because Mars, again, Mars aspecting on Rahu and Moon. Moon will be eclipsed. Even though Moon is strong in Taurus, exalted, Rahu is also considered strong in Taurus. So two strong things, and one is going to eclipse overall. So overall, this will or may result in a kind of suspicion, or a kind of mental disturbance, mentally tensed. One of the country may be mentally tensed that the other country is going to attack him or is going to do something against him. So this kind of things will be there, and otherwise we see in the ninth house Sun and Ketu is present. So on the world level, maybe Ketu is also exalted here. So scripturally, dharmic sun represents dharmic or strict actions, government, etc. So government may crack into strict actions, may impose some strict rules some strict actions may be seen by the government, which may not be welcomed by the people. Otherwise, Jupiter is also on in the 11th house, aspecting the Grahana home, so that may bring some solace. But Jupiter is again deviated. Jupiter is about 29 degree 54 minutes, so again it will be weak because it is in Shankarshana stage, transition stage, so it's going to be weak. But if there is might be if there is any effect, maybe it will cool down the suspicion, but I don't think so it will happen. So overall, what we can expect from the world chart because of this Grahan is that suspicion among neighboring countries will be there. Generalism, that is, generalists may face some problems. Generalists may be covered up, generalists may be locked up, they may be put into jail, or they may not be able to express their feelings, or they may not be express their views. So freedom may be curtailed, freedom will be curtailed, because this is the third house. Again, moon represents mind, Rahu represents actions, so Rahu is asoric, so that kind of things may be seen for generalist. Again, initiatives may not be successful during this time, or may be curtailed. Communication, written or spoken, may be affected, like general communication of people. It might be anything, like telecommunication also may get affected, or you can see some mobile towers, etc., or whatever. All those things can be affected. So these things can be seen communication wise, telecommunication, or emails, or maybe like people may find that whatever they had spoken, it was not represented as it is, or got curtailed for some reason. These things may happen. Moon exalted in Taurus but eclipsed, so maybe the negative effects may be brought down as moon is exalted, but still when moon is eclipsed, even Jupiter becomes weak, because Jupiter is exalted in moon, and moon one becomes weak, Jupiter naturally becomes weak. So Jupiter also represents dharma, religion, etc. So thus in every eclipse it is recommended that people pray to their Ishtadevatas or gurus, or all those things. And also this day being Guru Nanak Jayanti, people can also worship Guru Nanak. In 9th house we see Sun and Ketu together. Again, as I told you, Sun represents government, Ketu represents headless. So some headless decisions by the government, or governments may be attacked by headless decisions, or maybe Ketu can also represent terrorist. Some terrorist attack on government officials, can't say, these things may happen. And Mars aspecting Grahana house, so military action will be seen by people, so deaths also may be expected. So military actions by countries on the neighboring countries will be seen. It might be China attacking on India, or India attacking on China, or China attacking on Pakistan, Pakistan attacking on India. This is just an example. It may be to any country, any neighboring countries. Any two neighboring countries may undergo this trouble. Now coming back to Indian chart, so Grahan will remain same. Only thing is we change the location of the Lagna. You see now Lagna has gone to, like Pisces has gone to 11th house. So Taurus becomes our Lagna for the Indian chart. Now here what happens, Rahu and Moon will be in the main centric position. And what my intuition says is, like, Mars is also aspecting Moon, okay, from 6th house. Okay, so Moon represents Soma, Rahu represents Association. So Rahu Moon together, so some kind of news on drugs, some kind of news on alcohol, some kind of news on addiction. So all these things might happen. Mind upset, so general mind upset of the people of the country, some kind of mind upset, or Most probable thing is some kind of drugs for addicts, or some kind of bad news for alcoholics. Maybe there may be increase in tax for alcoholics, or some drugs related news. Some huge scam on drugs can be exposed, or maybe huge quantity of drugs entering the country may happen, because of which our young generation may get affected. So all possibilities are there, so you should be very careful. The sun is again in the 7th house opposing it, so government surely will oppose such moves on drugs and addiction, etc. So this prominent news may come up. Sun Ketu in 7th house. So Sun Ketu in 7th house, again they will be acting against these things. So government may be fiery against its partners. That might happen. It may fire its partners, or may have harsh dealings with its partners. India government may have its harsh dealings with its partners, right? Other than that, we see Mars again aspecting Moon here. This might tell me that some military actions on our enemies, some police raids, on the scams. So all these things may happen. So these are expected. So one should be careful during this period and see what could be done. So again, Jupiter and Saturn will be in the 9th house, the house of Dharma. So something related to law also may happen. Some law judgments, some good judgments may be passed. But Jupiter is weak, so that is why the business houses may find it difficult. They may put some case. It might be something like that. Venus is in the 8th house. So again, some problems related to sexually transmitted diseases in the country. So all these things will be there, but luxuries will be at some kind of issues related to luxuries. It may be other way also. There may be certain gain in luxuries also, but some news related to luxuries and fashion will be there. Overall, what we can think is some kind of tension in the mind. Mind upsets will be there in the country. Moon is strong, but still mind upset will be there. Drugs, alcohol, addiction, this kind of news will be prominent. Mars is also expecting some kind of police raid. As it is, we've seen few days back we had some news about drug cases, drug haul in Bombay, son of a superstar. So some kind of news related to those things will be there, or some new kind of raids might be there. Some new development will be there. That's what I see. So from November 19th. So these predictions generally, whenever there is an lunar eclipse, the predictions generally, the things happen 15 days before and last up to 4 months. So anywhere between these things, the results may come up. But generally, 2-3 days around this lunar eclipse, you will see these things. But as I told you, the results may turn even after 4 months or up to 4 months. The effects of this lunar eclipse will be up to 4 months. The effect of this solar eclipse will be up to 1 year. That is how it happens, right? So the best way to help ourselves is to engage prayers during the Grahan time. So moon is basically controlled by two deities. One is Krishna, because it's coming from Chandra Vamsha. So chanting Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudeva will help. For Shiva Bhaktas, they can chant Om Namah Shivaya or conduct Rudrabhisheks. So this will help them to keep their minds happy and under control. So this can be done regularly and also during the Grahan time. So hence we'll close this predictions. We'll see how far it will be good. Thank you.